We have been taught a fundamental lie. We are told that love is a goal, a prize, an objective to be won, a summit to be conquered. From our earlier stories, we learn that love is something one must find. It is out there, a hidden treasure, and our life's quest is to hunt it down. We are told to put ourselves out there, to play the game, to swipe, to search. And so we chase. We run ourselves ragged, pursuing an echo, hunting a shadow. We exhaust our spirits in this frantic, desperate marathon, believing that our completion lies in the capture of another. But what if this entire premise is wrong? What if the very act of chasing is what guarantees we will never find it? What if the sage, the one who understands the quiet mechanics of the universe, knows a truth we have forgotten, that you do not find love, you do not win it, you do not acquire it. You must let it find you. This is perhaps the most difficult wisdom to accept. It sounds like passivity. It sounds like defeat. The ego, the part of us that needs to do, to control, to achieve, rebels against this idea. So I should just sit in my room and wait? It scoffs. I should do nothing? That is giving up. This is the great misunderstanding. Letting love find you is not an act of passivity. It is, in fact, the most profound and active state of being. It is not the passive waiting of an empty vessel. It is the active, vibrant, and focused work of building a lighthouse. A lighthouse does not hunt for ships. It does not race across the sea, desperately searching for those who are lost. It simply is. It becomes so bright, so grounded, so unshakable in its own foundation, that all ships, guided by its beam, find their way to its shore. The sage knows that the work is not external. The work is internal. The chase is a distraction from the real task. To become the person, the energy, the sanctuary that love, in its own time and by its own wisdom, will inevitably seek out. The chase is an act of noise. Becoming is an act of resonance. And in the subtle physics of the human heart, resonance is everything. The first truth the sage understands is that chasing is an admission of lack. It is a declaration of scarcity. When you chase, you are operating from a place of profound inner emptiness. You are communicating, non-verbally, to every person you meet, and to the universe at large, I am not whole, I am incomplete. I am a void, and I require you, your attention, your validation, to fill me. This energy is not attractive, it is parasitic. It is the vibration of hunger. We think we are projecting confidence, but what we are truly projecting is need. And need is the heaviest burden one person can ask another to carry. The psychology of this is rooted in a fundamental self-rejection. It is the core belief that you, as you are, right now, are insufficient. You see love as a resource that exists only outside of yourself. It is a commodity to be acquired. This turns the sacred art of connection into a crude act of consumerism. You are shopping for a soul to complete your set. But healthy, whole individuals are not drawn to this. A person who has done their own internal work, who is full of their own life, their own joy, and their own purpose, is not attracted to a vacuum. They are repelled by it. They sense the energetic demand, the unspoken contract that they will be responsible for your happiness. It is an impossible task, and they wisely refuse it. The consequence of chasing from this place of lack is that you will only ever attract others who resonate at that same low frequency. You will not find love. You will find a shared codependence. You will find another empty person, and you will call this arrangement love. But it is merely a mutual agreement to lean on one another, two half-empty cups trying to quench a thirst, succeeding only in spilling what little they have. Letting love find you requires the opposite. It requires the courage to first become full. It is the difficult, solitary work of cultivating your own garden, of finding your own purpose, of generating your own joy, of becoming your own source. You stop seeking a person to make you happy, and instead become a happy person. You become a feast, not a famine. Love, true love, is not drawn to need. It is drawn to abundance. It seeks out those who have more than enough to share, not those who will demand its very last drop. The second reason the sage insists on non-pursuit is that chasing requires performance. It demands you wear a mask. The chase is a hunt, and a hunter must use camouflage. You must become what you believe your quarry desires. You study them. You learn what they like, what they find attractive, what they want to hear, and you begin to subtly, or perhaps overtly, contour yourself to fit that mold. You shave off the edges of your true personality. You hide your strange hobbies. You mute your controversial opinions. You present a curated, edited, optimized version of yourself, an actor playing the part of the perfect potential partner. You are not seeking connection, you are seeking approval. The psychology behind this is the deepest fear of all. The belief that your authentic self is, at its core, unlovable. It is the ultimate act of self-betrayal. You have surveyed the landscape and concluded that who you truly are is simply not good enough to be chosen. So, you must become someone else. You are not looking for a partner. You are looking for an audience for your carefully constructed illusion. The immediate danger is one of exhaustion. Maintaining a mask 24 hours a day is the single most tiring work a human being can do. It requires constant vigilance, a flawless memory, and an endless supply of social energy. But the far greater tragedy occurs if you succeed. If you win someone while wearing this mask, you are now trapped. You have successfully convinced another human being to fall in love, not with you, but with the character you invented. You can never relax. You can never be vulnerable. You can never truly be seen, because to show your real face would be to risk the entire foundation of the relationship. You are forced to live a lie, isolated inside your own performance, starving for a connection you can never have, because you have hidden the person they are meant to connect with. Letting love find you is an act of radical authenticity. It is the terrifying, courageous decision to stand still, unmasked, and say to the world, "This is who I am. This is what I love. This is what I believe. This is my truth." This authenticity is a powerful filter. It will instantly repel the superficial, the judgmental, and the incompatible. And that is a blessing, because it will act as an irresistible, undeniable beacon to the few, or perhaps the one, who has been searching for exactly you. They are not looking for your mask. They are looking for your face. The third truth is based on the energetic dynamic of pursuit. The sage understands that the chase itself creates an imbalance. It inherently divides the world into a hunter and the hunted. It is an energy of capture, of acquisition, of taking. When you are in this mode, your focus is on the outcome. Your interactions are, consciously or not, transactional. You are not listening to truly understand another person. You are listening for an opening, a weakness, a sign of interest. You are not being with them, you are acting upon them. This aggressive, forward-leaning, agenda-driven energy puts the world on the defensive. People are not stupid. They can feel this. They may not have the words for it. They may call it desperate or too much. But what they are sensing is the predatory intent. They sense that you are not there to connect with them, but to get something from them. This makes even an interested person guarded. It forces them to retreat, to protect their autonomy, to shield their own energy from your desire to conquer. You are inadvertently teaching them that you are not a safe harbor. You are a threat to their sovereignty. The sage does not hunt. The sage builds a sanctuary. Think of a garden. A garden does not chase butterflies. It does not run through the fields with a net, demanding that they land on its flowers. A garden simply is. It focuses on its own work. It sinks its roots deep into the ground. It draws nourishment from the soil. It patiently turns sunlight into life, and it blooms. It becomes a place of peace, of beauty, of stability, of nourishment. And the butterflies, of their own free will, come. They come because the garden is a place that offers what they need. They come to rest. They come to be nourished. They come because it is a sanctuary. Becoming a sanctuary is the work the sage advises. It means becoming a person who is safe, a person who is grounded in their own being, a person who listens without an agenda, a person whose presence is nourishing, not demanding. You stop being a hunter and you start being a home. Love does not want to be captured. It wants to come home. The fourth principle is the critical distinction between the event and the environment. The person who chases is obsessed with the event. They are focused on the one. They romanticize the meet cute, the first date, the first kiss, the proposal, the wedding. They see love as a singular moment of arrival, a destination they will one day reach. Their entire life becomes a prelude to this magical event, which they believe will solve all their problems. The psychology of this is destination addiction. It is the profound and profoundly mistaken belief that our internal state of being is contingent upon an external circumstance. I will be happy when I find my partner. I will feel whole when I am married. My life will start when I am in love. This places all power, all responsibility for one's own well-being into the hands of a future, hypothetical person. The consequence is a tragic neglect of the present. Because you are so fixated on the event, you completely ignore the environment, and the environment is you. You fail to do the one thing that actually matters, building a life worth sharing. You fail to ask the most important questions. Am I the kind of person I would want to be in a relationship with? Am I kind? Am I stable? Am I interesting? Do I have my own passions, my own life, my own resilience? Am I whole? You cannot build a lasting, beautiful structure on a rotten, unstable foundation. The chase is all about finding the other person. The sage's path is all about building the self. It is about investing all that wasted, frantic energy back into your own environment. You cultivate your mind. You heal your past traumas. You build your physical health. You find work that gives you meaning. You create a life of such joy, peace, and purpose that a relationship becomes not a desperate necessity, but a wonderful addition. You create an environment so healthy that it can sustain not just one life in, but two. When you focus on the environment, the event takes care of itself. The right person will simply recognize your environment as one they, too, have been building. It is a merging of two complete worlds, not two desperate halves colliding to make a fractured one. Fifth, the sage knows that the chase makes you blind. When you are desperately hunting for a specific idea of love, you are blinded to the reality of what is right in front of you. The chaser always has a type, a checklist, a rigid, predefined image of what their partner must look like, what they must do for a living, what their background must be. This checklist, this fixed idea of the person you are looking for, acts as a set of blinders. You are not actually looking for a person. You are looking for an actor to fill a role you have already written. The psychology of this is, once again, rooted in control. It is an attempt to mitigate the terrifying vulnerability of real love. If you can define it, if you can box it in with a list of criteria, you feel you can control it. You can minimize the risk. You can avoid the unknown. But love is the unknown. The devastating consequence of this is that you will walk right past genuine, profound, life-altering connection simply because it doesn't look the way you expected it to. You will dismiss the person with the kind heart and the brilliant mind because they aren't the right height. You will ignore the soul that resonates perfectly with yours because they have the wrong job. The chase is loud. It is an orchestra of your own demands and expectations, and it completely drowns out the quiet, subtle, single note of genuine resonance. Worse still, this blindness will cause you to project your idea onto the wrong person. You will find someone who ticks a few of your boxes, and you will force them into the role, ignoring all the red flags, all the incompatibilities, because you are in love with your fantasy, not with the actual human being in front of you. This inevitably leads to a shattering disillusionment when the real person or your real self can no longer sustain the projection. Letting love find you requires you to see. It demands that you be present, open, and receptive with no pre-written script. It is the willingness to be surprised, to discover connection in the most unexpected places, to be open to a person in all their flawed, real, and surprising glory, not a projection of your own making. Finally, the sage understands the deepest truth of all. Chasing is an act of control, while love is an act of surrender. The chase is, at its very core, the ego asserting its will upon the universe. I will make this happen. I will force this outcome. It involves strategy, manipulation, effort, and a relentless exertion of will. It treats love as a business deal, a campaign to be won. The psychology here is the fundamental illusion of the ego, that we are or should be in complete control of our lives. We fear the unknown. We fear vulnerability. We fear powerlessness. And so we grip the reins of our lives tighter and tighter, believing that if we just try hard enough, plan well enough, and execute flawlessly, we can force reality to bend to our desires. But love cannot be controlled. It is not a mineral to be mined. It is not an animal to be tamed. It is a wild, spontaneous, emergent property of existence. It is a form of grace. By trying to force it, by trying to control it, by trying to will it into being, you kill the very thing you seek. It suffocates under the pressure of your expectations. You cannot make someone love you, and you cannot make the right person appear on your timeline. The more you grip, the more it withers. The path of the sage is not control, but surrender. This is not surrender as defeat. It is not giving up. It is the most powerful and active form of trust. It is the surrender of your ego's timeline in favor of life's wisdom. It is the courageous release of the how and the when. It is the profound understanding that your only job is to do your internal work to become the most authentic, whole, and vibrant version of yourself, and then to trust that what is meant for you will find you. You release the checklist. You release the timetable. You release the desperate need for a specific outcome. You surrender to the beautiful, terrifying, and liberating truth that you can only control yourself. To stop chasing, then, is not to go to sleep. It is to finally wake up. It is to redirect all of that immense, frantic energy you are spending on the external hunt and to invest it in the internal work. The work of chasing excellence within yourself. The work of chasing your own purpose. The work of chasing your own peace. You stop looking for the one and you start becoming the one. You become the person you are looking for. And in doing so, you solve the great paradox. You become the lighthouse. You become the garden. You become the sanctuary. You become so full of your own light, your own life, that you no longer need anyone to complete you. And it is precisely then, when you have proven to the universe that you are whole without it, that love will quietly arrive, not as a desperate rescue, but as a joyful recognition. The greatest irony of love is that it only finds you when you have proven you no longer need it.